Hello, everybody. Welcome back. Now, the number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 12 most viewed PragerU video as of this moment. The war on boys. Here we go. Actually, we need to look at the thumbnail first. This is incredible. Down here in the bottom left, we have a little babby. A little babby, he's crawling on the floor. Oh, he grows up. Got a hat. He walking. Gets on the scooter. Oh no, what's this? He's wearing a dress. The communist gender Marxists have gotten to him. Now he's got feminine hips. Oh no. They turned him to a woman. This is the PragerU thumbnail. This is amazing. This is gonna be a good one, isn't it?
Being a normal boy is a serious liability in today's classroom. Boys tend to be disorganized and restless. Some have even been known to be noisy and hard to manage. Sound like any boy you know?
No, actually.
But increasingly, our schools have little patience for what only a couple of decades ago would have been described as boyishness. As psychologist Michael Thompson has aptly observed, girls' behavior is the gold standard in schools. Boys are treated like defective girls. This
is weird. Okay, oh wow. This one came out May 2014. This is an old one. Boys are treated like defective girls. Is this going on? This is pretty weak. That star was weak as fuck.
As a result, these defective girls are not faring well academically. Compared with girls, boys earn lower grades, they win fewer honors, they're far less likely to go to college. Boys are languishing academically while girls are prospering.
Okay, we're like 50 seconds in now. What is your thesis? I know this is badly written, but you know, a lot of the others, we kind of get the idea they're going for. I don't get this. Are you just saying boys just do worse than girls in school? Is that true? I haven't gotten really any stats or anything.
In an ever more knowledge-based economy, this is not a recipe for a successful society. We need to start thinking about how we can make our grade school classrooms more boy-friendly. Well, here are 4 reforms that would...
Oh, it's Christina Hoff Sommers. Oh, I should have recognized her. What do I even say? How we can make our grade school classrooms more boy-friendly? Are they not friendly to boys? Am I lost? I feel like I'm missing something here. I don't get it. What's happening? Is this true? Do boys do worse than girls? I'm really not familiar with this. According to the United States Department of Education, boys have consistently scored worse than girls in reading. Search reason boys do worse than girls. One of the biggest puzzles in education since the 1950s, boys in America have been falling behind girls in school, more trouble graduating, less likely to get college diplomas. Huh, look at that. It's like 8 points difference in 4 years of college. 3 with high school diplomas. Okay, when I went to school, I was like one of those really smart kids. Well, really smart. I never really got the vibe that boys or girls were any better one way or the other. I did okay. Okay, let's just hear her out.
1, turn boys into readers. In all age groups, across all ethnic lines, boys score lower than girls on national reading tests. Good reading skills, need I say, are critical to academic and workplace success.
Okay.
A major study in the UK discovered, not surprisingly, that girls prefer fiction, magazines, and poetry, while boys prefer comics and nonfiction. Boys whose eyes glaze over if forced to read Little House on the Prairie may be riveted by the Guinness Book of Records.
Cool.
Boys will read if given materials that interest them.
This is weird. Girls like fiction, boys like nonfiction. What? Isn't like all of Game of Thrones very obviously written for men? And Lord of the Rings too, yeah. I am so lost. I'm so confused. What is this evil face she's given me? That article we pulled up, I think, said that girls have better literacy rates, better reading skills than boys do. The obvious answer here is we just need to encourage kids to read more. Hey, wait a minute. Hey, you think there might be toxic masculinity if boys grow up and they think reading is for losers? Huh? I think it is, Christine. Huh? Enough of this. I hate this video so much already. Game of Thrones is a damn masterpiece made for both genders. I don't know. I haven't read it. All the rape and incest is not my thing.
If you're looking for suggestions for books that have proved irresistible to boys, go to guysread.com.
Ooh, guysread.com from John Sheska. I actually have that book somewhere. I don't know where. I have no idea where it is. It's in a box somewhere. Yeah, Guys Read. Author, John Sheska. I met him when I was in middle school. He came to my school. I got a picture somewhere of me with him. I hope that John Sheska guy's not like a Trump reactionary now. That would be awful. I've been whipping this out lately. It's getting a lot of use. Wink, wink. You want an example of books that boys might like to read? May I suggest Sun Tzu's The Art of War? My God, that face. What have I done? I'm sorry.
2. Inspire the male imagination. Celebrated writing instructor Ralph Fletcher.
Is this the guy they named Fletcher's disease after?
Contends that too many teachers take what is called a confessional poet as the classroom ideal. Personal narratives full of emotions and self-disclosure. These are stories girls commonly write, and these are prized, whereas action stories describing, say, a skateboard competition or a monster devouring a city, these are not.
This is weird. When I was in school, I remember we read The Great Gatsby, and it was amazing. I loved that story. And Treasure Island, that was one too. These would count as Christina Hoff Sommers' example of boys' stories. I read those in school. What are you talking about? I also read Pride and Prejudice, and I hated Pride and Prejudice until I read an analysis of it on the internet because I couldn't get through it and I hated it. And then I read an analysis on the internet and I was like, it just clicked in my head and it's like, oh wow, this is actually a really cool story. I'm not most people.
I recently read about a 3rd grader in Southern California named Justin who loved science fiction, pirates, and battles. Well, an alarmed teacher summoned his parents to school to discuss the picture the 8-year-old had drawn of a sword fight, which included several decapitated heads. The teacher expressed grave concern about Justin's values. The boy's father was astonished, not by his son's drawing, which to him was typical boy stuff, but by the teacher's overwrought and female-centered reaction.
Okay, what the fuck? Okay, there's a few things here. The teacher's female-centric reaction? What? We've all known teachers who are like a little too strict about weird things that you don't really need to be strict about. Oh wow, he drew pirates and decapitations. Okay, I don't think he drew an image quite this good. PragerU going all out. Look at this.
Right, which included several
PragerU is fucking decapitating people over here. Being concerned about someone drawing decapitations, depending on the context, I guess, it could be a little like, this kid might be disturbed. Or it could also be like, this kid's just likes fantasy kind of guy. Also, that teacher's face, they deliberately drew her like that.
About Justin's values. The boy's father was astonished, not by his son's drawing, which to him was typical boy stuff, but by the teacher's overwrought and female-centered reaction.
That's really weird that Christina Hoff Sommers said that. My brain doesn't even comprehend this.
If boys are constantly subject to disapproval for their interests and enthusiasms, they're likely to become disengaged and lag further behind.
You know what? I think this is true, actually. This is a fair take. You do want your students to be interested in the education that they're having. If students are disinterested or, not encouraged, they're not going to want to do it. You can't really force people to fit into molds. You know what that means, of course? That means we have to have more funding for arts and social studies classes, social sciences.
Our schools need to work with, not against, the kinetic imaginations of boys.
Gore alert.
3, zero out, zero tolerance.
Huh?
Boys are nearly 5 times as likely to be expelled from preschool as girls. And in grades K through 12, boys account for nearly 70% of suspensions. Now, this is often for minor acts of insubordination, and sometimes for
Didn't PragerU also do the 1350 thing? Despite boys only being 50%, they make up 70% of suspensions. Curious.
entirely innocent behavior. Hardly a week goes by without a news story about a young boy running afoul of a school's zero-tolerance policy. Josh Welsh, age 7, was recently sent home from his Maryland school for nibbling off the corners of a strawberry Pop-Tart into the shape of a gun. Josh, like many other boys punished for violating zero-tolerance policies, was guilty of nothing more than being a typical 7-year-old boy.
That does sound pretty stupid.
4.
Okay, that's all you got? Alright. Why'd you draw it in the shape of blood, PragerU? This is weird. Usually when I think of zero-tolerance policies, I think of you punch the bully back. What was that noise?
Into the shape of a gun.
Dropping a big dump. This is kind of ridiculous. The kids shouldn't be suspended for that. Wait. Was he sent home for putting it in the shape of a gun, or was he sent home because he was harassing other students with it? Do I even care to look this up? Oh shit, I found the article. Father of Maryland boy suspended for Pop-Tart gun wants his suspension record expunged. What have you got?
You'll remember that Anne Arundel County Elementary School.
Do I look like I know what a JPEG is? I just wonder. Wow, the highest is 226p. All right.
Remember that Anne Arundel County Elementary School student who made headlines, national headlines, after he chewed his breakfast bar into the shape of a gun. Well, he is back in the news today.
And that is because his family wants to get his suspension record erased. But the school system say not so fast. Maryland Bureau Chief Brad Bell, live in Annapolis. He's got the details on today's hearing. Brad?
Yeah, Leon, the superintendent of schools here has already reaffirmed this suspension. He said it had nothing to do with Pop-Tarts or guns, but he says this boy was a troublemaker who frightened his classmates.
Ah!
His family.
There we go. I would wonder, like, is this kid like a troublemaker? Has he been told before, you know, has he been like threatening other students before? I would be curious to know.
During a hearing closed to cameras but open to reporters, a school system lawyer told the board Thicker is wrong, and he's the one branding the child. She said Josh had previously punched and threatened students and had a record of 20 prior incidents. The system.
Wow! It's like It's like I fucking know these things before they happen. It's wild how, like, when you watch a PragerU video, you just know when they're lying to you or they're leaving stuff out. Notice how she emphasizes Maryland because it's a blue state. I didn't notice that, but you're right.
Josh Welsh, age 7, was recently sent home from his Maryland school for nibbling off
Just like a whole second of dead air there.
Was guilty of nothing more than being a typical 7-year-old boy.
He was punished for being a rambunctious little shit who got in a lot of trouble and threatened and punched other students. And this is just the final straw where he was doing a bang-bang motion shooting at other students. But I would agree, in a vacuum, a singular Pop-Tart instance like this isn't really worth suspending a kid over.
4. Bring back recess. Believe it or not, recess...
Okay, yeah. Before Christina Hofsummer says something to ruin this, I will agree. Yes. Okay? Kids should have recess. When I was in elementary school, like 8 years old, we had the recess when we got there at the school. We'd have the first recess, then we'd have the second recess for lunch. And they got rid of the second recess. You still had the first when you arrive and the lunch, but they got rid of that one in between. They didn't have that anymore. Now it's like 30 minutes after lunch. It made me kind of mad. It made me kind of sad. They should bring recess back. Don't be so bad.
Recess may soon be a thing of the past. According to research summarized by the Science Daily, since the 1970s, school children have lost close to 50% of their unstructured outdoor playtime.
Yep.
And much-loved games have vanished from schoolyards.
Okay, well, that's a different matter. I think this is true. I think this is because they have, like, strict testing requirements they gotta get to in order for schools to get, like, funding. Like, X amount of people have to, like, pass and get a certain grade. Because of that, they try to cram so much more study time into the kids' schedules. So what's gonna get cut? Obviously, recess is the first thing to get cut.
And much-loved games have vanished from schoolyards. In schools...
Let me guess, we're going to say, you can't play football anymore.
Throughout the country, games like dodgeball, Red Rover, even tag.
Yes, because all of these carry a risk of people getting hurt, and the school does not want to be held financially liable for it.
Have all but disappeared. Too damaging to self-esteem or too violent. being the usual excuse.
No mention of economics.
In schools throughout the country, games like dodgeball.
Did you hear that impact of that ball? You're not supposed to play dodgeball with a ball that impacts like that. I got to play dodgeball throughout high school. Like, it was a regular thing we did. But the balls you use are these, like, foam things. A few bloody noses real quick. And then they're like, okay, we need to do something different here. And Red Rover, like, people break their limbs. People break their arms in Red Rover. Red Rover injury lawsuit settles for $15,000. So if you don't know what Red Rover is, so this is like 10-year-olds playing Red Rover. Red Rover is when you get a line of people, 2 different teams. You each link hands with the person next to you, and you stand in a chain. Like there's a chain of like 5 people here, and then you pick someone on the other team and you say, Red Rover, let person X come over. And then person X comes running over. Person here with the hair in the wind. That person has to run through the link that 2 people have with their arms together. So 2 people holding hands, and someone has to run through and literally break through their grasp. So if 2 people are holding on tight enough, yes, this is very likely to break something. Yeah, your kids probably should not be playing this at school, if at all. There's plenty other sports that kids can play that's just as healthy, that's less dangerous than this. School district settles $15K Red Rover lawsuit of parents. It's probably a thing that happens quite a lot. This is why they banned Red Rover at my school. Look at that. Boom! Oh. Oh. Yeah. Yeah, I can see why they would ban that. Terrible game. 1.5 out of 10. Probably the worst I ever played. Bruises and thrashings from sweaty kids, nearly ripping your arms off as they get pummeled by locked elbows, arms, and shoulders.
Even tag have all but disappeared.
They stopped tag because a lot of people like run up and then instead of like just slightly tapping you, they push you. Sorry. They push you. There's always a couple kids that take it too far, you know? And it's like, yeah, well, you ruin it for the rest of us. Just get good. I can imagine throwing the dodgeball at a little kid and the kid's like whack right in the nose. They fall over. And then they're like, what happened? And I'm like, get good, scrub!
One popular classroom guide suggests tug of war be replaced with tug of peace. Boys need to work.
She just drops that too. Okay. Also, tug of war is incredibly dangerous. Okay, I'm gonna be careful showing you guys this. There are videos out there of people, like adults, doing tug of war. This is kind of scary to say, all right? There's videos out there of people playing tug of war and like losing limbs from it. You can find them on LiveLeak. You can find videos of like people losing fingers, some people losing arms. There's some of people doing tug of war. The rope snaps, flies back, hits people in the face. They lose their eye. This happens. No wonder schools don't want people doing tug of war. Oh, in fact, here we are. Tug of war, injury risks, notable incidents. Oh, yeah, and back strains, which can be permanent. Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, 1978. The rope snapped. 6 people severely injured. 200 people injured altogether. Westerno, Germany. 2 people died. I don't want to show people dying from this on stream, though. Oh yeah, and rope burn. What, did you people not know this? Did you not know this? It sounds like a simple, you know, a really simple sport, but it's not it is a highly dangerous thing. Kids really should not be doing.
Work off their energy. They need to be free to play games they enjoy, and keeping them cooped up and inside all day will not help them learn.
This is true, but it's like couched in some weird other stuff.
As our schools become more feeling-centered, more competition-free, more sedentary, they move.
Okay, this is all new to me. She didn't really establish the feeling centers or competition-free bits. She just said, they don't let us do dodgeball. They don't let us play tug of war. Okay, I will say, sedentary, this is a real thing. This is a real thing going on. Schools and a lot of parts in our society.
Further away from the needs of boys.
Oh,
we need to
lock them up.
Reverse the boy-averse trends.
Oh, God. Ugh.
Male underachievement is everyone's concern. These are our sons. These are the young men with whom our daughters will build a future.
There it is. Okay, that's weird. That's really weird. We have to let our kids play recess because one day they're gonna have kids of their own.
Boys are in trouble. So are we all. I'm Christina Hoff Summers at the American Enterprise Institute for Prager University.
This one was really weak. I was expecting more. With the title like War on Boys, I really wanted something better. Something a little more juicy, a little more plump. Well, I guess with Christina Hoff Summers, we're not going to get that. Her ideas are not robust.
Join Prager University. Subscribe to our YouTube channel
and
sign up for free at prageru.com.
What he really means is me. Yeah. Oh. Okay. That's enough. With a title like The War on Boys, and with that thumbnail, I was expecting something. I was expecting a real heavy hitter. I was hoping this PragerU video would be like a pow pow pilly pow, but no, this one was weak. Bring back Debbie D'Souza, she's wild. Anyway, I'm gonna give a special thanks to the January patrons. There are a few more of you this time. Special thanks to Dios, Elsie Hupp, George, Jai Palamo, Laura Day, Megan Squires, Mellow Cheddar, Schwartz, and Zylorp on Bandcamp. Thank you all. You may not realize it, but you are currently funding the War on Boys. They are indoctrinating the young minds among the West with their resentment-ridden vuvuzelas.